Thousands of years before Europeans set foot here, the land now called New Jersey bore the footprints of the Lenape. This was the homeland of the Lenape ancestors for more than 10,000 years. They belonged to the Algonquian language family and lived in small communities along rivers and streams, from the Delaware River basin to New York Bay, with a rich and distinctive culture. In the oak and pine forests and marshes of this region, the Lenape hunted and fished while cultivating corn, squash, and beans in fertile river bottom fields. About every 2 decades, when the soil was depleted, they moved on to fresh ground, leaving behind villages that had exhausted their resources. Life harmonized with nature. In autumn, men hunted deer and wildfowl, while women gathered berries, corn, and herbs in the fields. They built wooden bark-covered houses, round wigwams, along riverbanks where multiple generations lived under one roof. By the 17th century, roughly 8,000 Lenape lived across New Jersey, forming a diverse and resilient social landscape. But the peace of Lenape-Hoking, the Lenape homeland, did not last forever. The first European ships on the horizon signaled a turbulent new chapter. At first, the Lenape amicably traded furs for European goods, but foreign diseases and rising conflict devastated native communities. By the 18th century, under the pressure of white settlement and land seizures, most Lenape were forced to leave their ancestral ground. The descendants of these original people grew scarce in New Jersey, yet their imprint endured in place names, local culture, and the state's historical memory. European footsteps in New Jersey began with early 16th century explorers. In 1524, Italian navigator Giovanni da Verrazzano, sailing for France, likely cruised past the Jersey coast, but the pivotal moment came in 1609. Henry Hudson, an English captain employed by the Dutch East India Company, explored New York Bay and set foot at Sandy Hook in New Jersey. His voyage opened the door to Dutch colonial ambitions. They called the region New Netherland, quickly establishing fur trade posts along the Hudson, Raritan, and Passaic rivers. By 1660, the Dutch had founded the first permanent settlement at Bergen, today part of Jersey City, on the peninsula between the Hudson River and Newark Bay. At the same time, to the south, the Swedes briefly competed by creating the short-lived colony of New Sweden along the Delaware, near present-day Salem and Camden. Colonial New Jersey was multi-ethnic and complicated. The Dutch brought their language and customs, ceded place names, like Hoboken and Harlem, and expanded the fur trade with natives. Yet Britain's imperial reach would soon sweep across this fertile land. In 1664, amid Anglo-Dutch rivalry, King Charles II granted New Netherland to his brother James, the Duke of York. The Duke promptly conveyed the land between the Hudson and Delaware to 2 proprietors, Lord John Berkeley and Sir George Carteret. They named the new province after Carteret's home island of Jersey, New Caesarea, or New Jersey. The Dutch briefly retook New York and New Jersey in 1673, but permanently ceded them under the 1674 treaty. Under English rule, New Jersey experienced a peculiar era of division and reunion. In 1676, the colony split into East Jersey, administered by the Carteret interest, and West Jersey, governed by Quakers. During these decades, a diverse influx arrived. Beyond English and Dutch settlers came Scots, Irish, Germans, French Huguenots, Finns, and Swedes. Religious life was equally varied: Quakers, Protestants of many denominations, and Catholics. This diversity fostered traditions of religious tolerance and early representative self-government, political DNA that endured. By the late 17th century, colonial life prospered. Wheat and corn thrived in rich fields. The trade in furs, timber, and rum bustled through Perth Amboy's harbor. Yet land disputes with the Lenape and conflicts between proprietary landlords and settlers grew sharper. In 1702, the proprietors' regime collapsed. East and West Jersey reunited as the Royal Colony of New Jersey under a Crown-appointed governor. Henceforth, directly under the British Crown, New Jersey's people still jealously guarded local autonomy. Until 1738, the New Jersey governor doubled as New York's governor, a thankless job, as New Jerseyites were notoriously independent and resistant to policies that didn't suit them. That atmosphere nourished a latent spirit of resistance that would flare across North America when revolution kindled. In the mid-18th century, ideas of liberty and rights swept the colonies. New Jersey, weary of taxes and imperial restraints, tilted toward independence. Yet at first the population was deeply divided. Staunch loyalists, Tories, lived alongside ardent patriots. The Revolution turned the state into a brutal battleground. New Jersey earned the moniker Crossroads of the American Revolution, wedged between British-held New York and the rebel capital of Philadelphia. From 1775 to 1783, more than 100 engagements occurred on Jersey soil. Indeed, as many as 600 skirmishes and battles, by some counts, more than in any other colony. On Christmas night, 1776, New Jersey witnessed a fateful turning point. In a freezing storm, Commander-in-Chief George Washington led the Continental Army across the ice-choked Delaware River to strike the Hessian garrison at Trenton. The famous painting of Washington standing at the boat's prow amid winter waves captures the drama of that night. At dawn on December 26th, the surprise attack succeeded brilliantly. Hundreds of groggy Hessians were captured. A week later, on January 3, 1777, Washington defeated the British at Princeton, sending shockwaves through enemy ranks. The twin victories at Trenton and Princeton fanned faltering embers into flame. They revived the conscience, spirit, and resolve of the nation, bolstering enlistments and public support at the darkest hour. New Jersey remained vital throughout the war's later years. Washington's army wintered in the state more than once, most notably the bitter winters of 1777 and 1779 to 1780 at Morristown, enduring cold, hunger, and disease, and even near mutiny. With steady leadership and sheer grit, Washington held the army together until spring. The war ended in triumph in 1783. New Jersey became the third state to ratify the U.S. Constitution in 1787 and the first to approve the Bill of Rights in 1789. Trenton briefly served as the nation's temporary capital late 1784, before becoming the state capital in 1790. With its crossroads position, post-war New Jersey focused on healing and building an economy after years of conflict. After the Revolution, New Jersey began as a largely agricultural state, but soon pivoted dramatically as industrialization swept America. Alexander Hamilton, the first Treasury Secretary and a chief architect of the U.S. economy, saw New Jersey's industrial potential. In 1791, he and investors chose the Great Falls of the Passaic River to found Paterson, planned as the first industrial city in the United States. The roaring falls became the driving soundtrack for mills lining the riverbanks. From modest silk shops, Paterson grew into a powerhouse of textiles and machine works, earning the nickname Silk City. The Great Falls on the Passaic at Paterson, where water power drove mills and shops, making Paterson the nation's first planned industrial city. In the 19th century, a transportation revolution reshaped the state as canals and railroads stitched together new arteries. The Delaware and Raritan Canal, opened in 1834, linked the Delaware River to New York Bay, enabling coal from Pennsylvania to flow easily to seaports. The Morris Canal spanned the state too, turning New Jersey into a bridge for goods moving east-west. Soon, railroads arrived. The Camden and Amboy Railroad, among the nation's earliest, was completed in 1833, connecting Philadelphia through Camden to ferries for New York. Steam trains chugging through towns and farms transformed daily life. New Jersey became a transportation hub between North and South, while the Stevens family in Hoboken not only built early railways, but also pioneered steam navigation, foundations of the state's intermodal transport future. Infrastructure fueled an industrial boom. In the North, factories making electrical gear, chemicals, and rubber multiplied. In the South, glassworks in Cumberland County turned sand into fine bottles and glassware, creating a vibrant industry. Trenton on the Delaware became renowned for ceramics, dubbed the Staffordshire of America, in homage to England's pottery heartland. The slogan, "Trenton makes, the world takes," emblazoned on a bridge over the Delaware, proclaimed the city's workshop stature. There, engineer John Roebling set up a wire rope works, supplying cables for landmark projects like the Brooklyn Bridge. New Jersey also drew great inventors. In the 1870s, Thomas Alva Edison made the state his base for turning ideas into reality. In 1876, he built a cutting-edge laboratory at Menlo Park, Middlesex County, often called the world's first industrial R&D lab. There, Edison and his assistants labored day and night. Within a few years, epical inventions arrived. In 1877, he created the phonograph, astonishing the world with recorded human sound. By 1879, he unveiled a durable incandescent light bulb, launching the age of electrification. With over 1,000 patents, Edison became the Wizard of Menlo Park. In 1887, he moved to West Orange, New Jersey, building a larger complex that yielded early motion picture devices and improvements to electric systems. Edison's career, tightly bound to New Jersey, helped make the state a cradle of technological change. Industrialization brought a population boom in the 19th century. Factories and construction drew waves of migrants. Early on, laborers from neighboring New England and Northern Europe found work on farms and in mills. From the 1870s, with the Transcontinental Railroad complete, New Jersey even saw one of the first Chinese communities on the East Coast, at Belleville, near Newark. By the century's end, immigration shifted to Southern and Eastern Europe. Thousands of Italians, Poles, Hungarians, Russians, and Eastern European Jews poured through Ellis Island, with many settling in Newark, Jersey City, Paterson, and beyond. They brought Catholicism, Judaism, Orthodoxy, and a tapestry of languages and cuisines that enriched New Jersey's culture. On the eve of the 20th century, the state looked like a microcosm of America, a meeting ground for peoples from around the globe. Prosperity also bred problems. By the late 19th century, state politics fell under the sway of corporate trusts and business barons. Thanks to permissive corporate tax and charter laws, countless major firms registered in New Jersey. By the early 20th century, half of America's biggest companies claimed New Jersey charters, earning the state the sardonic title, Mother of Trusts. Railroad, coal, and steel magnates bent politics to their will. A progressive reform wave rose to counterbalance them. In 1911, Princeton professor Woodrow Wilson won the governorship on a reform platform. Wilson, soon to be U.S. president, pushed through laws tightening oversight of corporations and public utilities, seeking to pull the teeth of entrenched interests. Though some statutes were later rolled back, these efforts showed New Jersey's resolve to build a fairer business climate in the industrial age. Amid the industrial story, New Jersey also weathered the Civil War. As a northern state, New Jersey sided with the Union, but public opinion was complicated. Many residents with Southern roots or conservative views did not support Abraham Lincoln. Indeed, New Jersey was the only Union state where Lincoln lost the popular vote in both 1860 and 1864. This reflected economic and political divides. Agrarian South Jersey often sympathized with the slaveholding South, while urbanized North Jersey leaned Union. Once war came, however, the state contributed substantially. Roughly 88,000 New Jersey men enlisted, fighting in major theaters from Bull Run and Gettysburg to Vicksburg. While no major battles were fought in New Jersey, the human cost was real. Over 6,000 of the state's sons died in service. With Union victory and ratification of the 13th Amendment in 1865, slavery ended nationwide, something New Jersey had slow-walked. After the war, urbanization exploded from the late 19th into the early 20th century. The state's ports and factory cities, Newark, Jersey City, Paterson, Trenton, Camden, grew rapidly as immigrants and workers arrived. Newark, founded by 17th century Puritans, became the state's largest city by the early 1900s, famed for leather goods and timepieces and serving as a financial insurance center for the Northeast. Jersey City on the Hudson developed as a railhead and port gateway to New York. Trains from the interior rolled in with coal, lumber, and grain for transfer to ships. In working-class neighborhoods, one heard many tongues: Italian in pasta shops, Polish in Catholic churches, German on storefront signs, and Irish-accented English from beat cops. Diversity created a vibrant urban culture of ethnic festivals, cuisines, and foreign-language newspapers. Yet fast urban growth also meant tenements, industrial pollution, and big city machine politics. Notorious was Boss Frank Hague, Jersey City mayor, 1917 to 1947, who ruled like a feudal lord with a patronage machine. Accused of corruption, Hague nevertheless built public works and social services for the poor, illustrating both sides of early 20th century urban politics in New Jersey. The 20th century interwove New Jersey's story with national and global events. World War I shook the state. From 1915, munitions plants ramped up to supply Britain and France. In July 1916, the Black Tom explosion, sabotage by German agents at a Jersey City munitions depot, rocked the region. Shrapnel even damaged the nearby Statue of Liberty. The incident underscored New Jersey's strategic status. When the U.S. entered the war in 1917, the state quickly became a military logistics hub. Hoboken's port was requisitioned to stage troops. Thousands of soldiers from across America passed through daily boarding ships for Europe. As the last stop on home soil for many, Hoboken earned the grim nickname, "Where the Journey Ends." In Burlington County, Camp Dix sprang up in 1917 as an infantry training center, eventually evolving into today's Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst. In all, about 140,000 New Jerseyans served in uniform. Roughly 3,400 died. Among the fallen was poet Joyce Kilmer of New Brunswick, author of Trees, killed in France in 1918 and posthumously awarded the French Croix de Guerre. The home front pulsed with effort. Steel and shipyards at Kearney, Newark, and Camden launched transports and warships. Women filled factory lines. The Great Migration brought African Americans north to plants and shipyards. Discrimination persisted. Black troops were often assigned labor units or segregated regiments, like the Harlem Hellfighters, whose Needham Roberts of Trenton became one of the first African American recipients of the Croix de Guerre for valor alongside French forces. After World War I came the Roaring Twenties and then the Great Depression. When the economy crashed in 1929, factories closed and unemployment soared. By the mid-1930s, over 120,000 New Jerseyans worked in New Deal relief programs, WPA building roads and CCC planting trees. These efforts planted more than 21 million trees statewide, leaving a lasting environmental legacy. Recovery gathered pace late in the decade, only to be overtaken by a new global conflict. In World War II, New Jersey again became America's arsenal. After Pearl Harbor, 1941, more than 560,000 men and women from the state entered the armed forces, fighting from Europe to the Pacific. At home, agriculture and industry redlined for war. Newark, Bayonne, and Camden shipyards launched hundreds of Liberty ships and warships at record speed. Eastern Aircraft in Linden assembled TBM Avenger bombers for the Navy. Over 200 New Jersey companies earned War Department E awards for production excellence. Industrial employment swelled to nearly 1 million. Unemployment virtually disappeared by 1943 to 1945. War jobs drew more women, African Americans, and Latinos into factories. Yet inequity lingered. At Seabrook Farms in South Jersey, management filled labor shortages by hiring Japanese Americans released from wartime internment camps to replace black workers striking for rights. Backlash helped spur New Jersey's 1945 Fair Employment Act, making it the nation's second state to ban job discrimination by race and religion. Victory in 1945 ushered in a new era. The New Jersey Constitution of 1947 overhauled state government, strengthening the governor, streamlining the courts, and ordering desegregation of public schools and the state National Guard, well ahead of the national civil rights movement. It also fortified workers' rights to organize and bargain collectively, reflecting post-war commitments to fairness. Immediately after the war, suburbanization boomed. Returning veterans used GI Bill benefits to buy homes in quieter outskirts. New edge cities rose along new highways. The Garden State Parkway, opened 1954, running the state's length, and the New Jersey Turnpike, 1952, slicing through its industrial core with direct connections to New York and Philadelphia. Farmland gave way to tract housing, shopping centers, and acres of parking, the hallmarks of a car culture. Prosperity spread, but so did urban sprawl, consuming farmland and habitats. Not all veterans shared equally. Because of discriminatory lending and restrictive covenants, many black veterans were denied suburban mortgages, and new subdivisions often barred non-white buyers. The result was entrenched residential and wealth segregation with long shadows. Mid-century New Jersey also became a stage for technological breakthroughs and social upheaval. In 1946, engineers at Evans Signal Laboratory in Wall Township bounced the first radar signal off the moon, Project Diana, inaugurating the era of space communication. In 1947, at Bell Labs in Murray Hill, scientists William Shockley, John Bardeen, and Walter Brattain demonstrated the world's first transistor. That tiny device, little more than a bit of germanium with a couple of wires, sparked the electronics revolution, enabling everything from radios and TVS to computers and mobile phones. Bell Labs became a New Jersey icon, amassing 7 Nobel Prizes for its far-reaching discoveries. The original 1947 transistor, built at Bell Labs in New Jersey, a breakthrough that underpins modern electronics. At the same time, New Jersey moved into the civil rights era. Despite early advances, the 1945 anti-discrimination law and the desegregation mandate of 1947, de facto segregation and bias persisted in housing, employment, and policing. In July 1967, the Newark riots erupted after police arrested and beat a black taxi driver. For 6 days, Newark burned, police cars and storefronts in flames, gunfire echoing through high-rises. At least 26 people were killed and hundreds injured. The city suffered grievous losses and entered a long economic decline. The Newark upheaval, along with unrest in Plainfield and other U.S. cities that long hot summer, became a turning point, spurring police reforms, urban policy shifts, and greater black participation in politics. In 1970, Newark elected its first African-American mayor, Kenneth Gibson, signaling a new era of post-riot urban governance. From the late 20th into the 21st century, New Jersey kept evolving, achieving technological advances while confronting environmental and sustainability challenges. Beyond Bell Labs, the state nurtured many breakthroughs and industries. Johnson & Johnson introduced the first Band-Aid in 1921. Fort Lee became the cradle of early American filmmaking in the 1900s before Hollywood's rise, earning the title Birthplace of the Feature Film. Agriculture innovated too. In 1916, grower Elizabeth White and scientist Frederick Coville domesticated the first cultivated blueberry in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey, turning a wild berry into a global crop. Such big and small innovations fueled New Jersey's creative state reputation in the 20th century. Culturally and socially, modern New Jersey is among the most diverse states in America. Once dominated by European immigration, since 1965, changes to federal law opened doors to newcomers from Asia, Latin America, the Caribbean, and Africa. Today, roughly 1 in 5 New Jerseyans is foreign-born. The Latino community, largely from Puerto Rico, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, and Central South America, now makes up around 18% of the population, bringing Spanish-speaking neighborhoods to Newark, Jersey City, and Patterson, along with parades and cuisine woven into urban life. Asian communities have also grown rapidly, particularly Indians, Chinese, Filipinos, and Koreans, shaping Little India districts in Edison and Iselin, and vibrant Korean enclaves in Fort Lee and Palisades Park. This open-armed multiculturalism extends New Jersey's long tradition as a promised land for immigrants, where languages, faiths, and customs coexist and blend. Alongside economic growth, New Jersey became a pioneer in environmental policy and sustainable planning. In the late 1960s, after decades of industrial pollution, citizens and officials awoke to the crisis. New Jersey was among the first states to create a Department of Environmental Protection in 1970, just months after the federal EPA launched. The state led cleanup of hazardous sites and restoration of rivers, notably the Passaic and Raritan, once dead from industrial waste. Above all, New Jersey spearheaded protection of an internal natural wonder, the Pine Barrens National Reserve. This vast southern New Jersey pine forest and wetland region faced sprawl pressure, but in 1978 it became the nation's first national reserve and biosphere reserve. Covering over 4,500 square kilometers, the Pinelands now enjoy strong legal protection, a green lung in one of America's most densely populated states. Thanks to such efforts, though New Jersey ranks 47th of 50 in land area and 11th in population, it still maintains about 42% forest cover and hundreds of thousands of acres of farmland, befitting its nickname, the Garden State. Beyond conservation, New Jersey emphasized smart growth to balance expansion and quality of life. In 1992, the state adopted a strategic plan promoting sustainable urban redevelopment over unchecked greenfield construction, while prioritizing protection of critical natural resources. The state invested to acquire open space for parks and restricted scattershot building to curb suburban sprawl. The result, new edge cities along corridors like I-78 and I-287 grew in ways more compatible with the environment, easing pressure on older cores without scarring landscapes. New Jersey also led on air quality laws and expanded public transit to cut pollution and congestion. Politically, late 20th and early 21st century New Jersey often leaned moderate and played meaningful roles in federal elections. Across the long arc, New Jersey's history is vivid and dramatic. From tranquil Lenape riverside villages through multicultural colonial days and revolutionary battlegrounds, from the industrial whistle's call and bustling immigrant streets to labs where electric light and semiconductor signals were born, from civil rights turmoil to sustainability leadership. These threads forged a distinct New Jersey identity, small in size, vast in historical legacy. The state's contributions to America are remarkably varied. A modest New Jersey plan in 1787 that shaped the U.S. Senate, a perilous river crossing in 1776 that saved the Revolution, a 1947 transistor that transformed global technology. In the 21st century, New Jersey remains fertile and dynamic, forests and cityscapes interwoven, where people of every background build together. The state's rich, diverse past is not just a local pride, but a mirror of the United States itself.